You're listening to Synergy to Synastry, the podcast where two corporate girlies called to follow their intuition take you on a journey of self-exploration through metaphysical modalities.
I'm Christine, intuitive coach and clairvoyant.
And I'm Renee, psychic intuitive and astrologer.
We're excited that you're here and honored to be your spiritual guides. If you enjoy this podcast, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review wherever you listen. It helps listeners find our show, plus it automatically enters you into our raffles to win a free psychic reading.
Now, let's get into the episode. Christine, have you researched the etymology of any words since recording our last episode?
Funny you should ask. I have a couple little notes that I've been saving to share with you. So I love the gym. I love to work out. The first word is muscle. Muscle comes from the Latin musculus, meaning little mouse, because a flexed muscle looks like a little mouse. And this comes from the Romans.
I want to know what muscle they were looking at that they thought when it was flexed it looked like a mouse.
I'm wondering if it was like the tricep.
The head with the ears?
Yeah, it's like a little cheese mouse. I am confused about that one as well. But yeah, I don't know. Okay, so this next one I thought was actually kind of hysterical. The word butterfly comes from Old English. Back in the day, people thought witches turned into butterflies to steal butter, which I need to do more research into like the lore of this. But A, why are we stealing butter? And B, why is it only witches stealing butter? And C, why do we have to turn into butterflies? How much butter can a butterfly really carry?
I did not think that's where number 3 was going. What piques my interest is the connection with witches and flying. Rather than there being a broom, it's turning into butterflies. But yeah, what is the butter for? Was it just a big commodity?
It did probably take a lot of work to make butter back in the day. If you were churning it yourself. Every time I see a butterfly now, I'm going to be like, are you going to steal some butter, ma'am? We know this is secretly a food podcast. The word sandwich. The sandwich was named after the Earl of Sandwich. Basically, this guy was playing cards and he didn't want to get his hands dirty while he was eating and playing cards, two things at once. So he put his meat between two pieces of bread and that became the sandwich.
What's the etymology? That's just history of sandwich.
So the English town Sandwich in Kent is an ancient port with evidence of settlements dating back to the Roman period. Here we go with the Romans. It was an important port during the Middle Ages and part of the Cinque Ports Confederation. The name Sandwich itself reflects its location, sand for the sandy soil and wich from the Anglo-Saxon wick for a dwelling or trading place. There we go. We got there.
Okay.
This is actually 1,000 times more interesting. Sandwich is named after the Earl of Sandwich, the person, but the town that the Earl is Earl of is named for being a sandy trading place.
So when we eat a sandwich,
you're eating a sandy dwelling. Wow. Okay, let's get this conversation back on track, shall we?
Why don't we finish out our deep dive into words through one final segment?
Yes, let's do it. I really can't wait to hear what you researched.
And I can't wait to share. So I looked up the etymology of some of the most important words for our podcast. First one is synergy. Had to do it, name of the pod. Synergy comes from the Greek synergia, which means joint work or cooperation, where syn, the prefix, means together, and ergon, which is part of the rest of it, erg, means work. From the theological perspective, a synergist is one who holds the doctrine as applied to humans collaborating with divine grace. So I thought all of the above was super interesting because even though we framed this podcast as having synergy being a very corporate buzzword, there is a religious and spiritual origin as well.
I never would have thought any of what you just said came out of the word synergy, and look at us.
But it really does follow the true definition. Synergy meaning you're working together on something. To complete our podcast title, I naturally had to look up synastry. And that also comes from Greek synastria, which means star-crossed, where syn means together and astro, the astria part, means star. We have a similar root. It's about togetherness. That's partly why we pick this. It's a term used for understanding relationships based on astrological placement. So I do have synastry readings in this specific area, but I liked that it was star-crossed. It's the intersection between them as well.
It makes me think of our like sister signs in various parts of our chart.
Yeah, we have synastry.
Duh.
Next one, psychic. And this comes from the Greek psychikos, I think is how you say it. Psychikos. And it means of the soul, spirit, or mind. And really, when you look up psychic, it's not something that's changed its meaning over time. It has a pretty locked in definition. And the term that's usually attached to it is psyche, and that's more on the psychological perspective, where it's of the mind. So both of them they're playing off of each other.
I feel like I have to digest this one. Like of the soul, spirit, or mind, I think of like the mind-body integration. You know what I mean? Like there's something so deep.
How we would describe being psychic or having psychic abilities is through your mind. You require a mind in order to process the things that are of spirit or soul, or that you're receiving information from loved ones who are spirits.
Yeah.
And maybe it's supposed to be with the of soul, spirit, mind, reflecting the fact that someone who is psychic, they're being the spiritual and intellectual component of like what they're representing, what they're communicating.
I like that.
During a psychic reading with us, whether it's from this raffle win or through purchasing on either of our websites, details included in the show notes, oftentimes people will look for forecast readings. They're not wondering about a specific event happening exactly right now. They're wondering, is my love life going to change? Is my career going to change? Certain events or area of life, putting it forward on a timeline.
When I'm giving a reading, we are forecasting from a specific point in time. Let's say there's like 6 possibilities that can happen. I'll tell you what I see and what's most likely to happen, but humans have free will. So if I see possibility 3 is most likely to happen, but you want it to be possibility 4, after our reading, you can take actions to make 4 happen, or you can set the intention for 4 to happen. You actually are really in control.
I like to tell my clients, the reading is a catalyst. They have come there to receive whatever the insights were. And sometimes if they hear you explaining, oh, this option has a lot of energy around it, it's lit up, I see you really empowered, yada, yada, they might hear that and go, oh, well, I don't want to do that. And that is telling you one of two things. Either one, it was really just to give them that exercise of then listening to and trusting their own intuition and not coming in here as if we are telling them what to do, because we are not. We're just acting as translators. And number two, we actually could be telling them the route that is most energetically aligned, and their desire to do option 4 instead of option 3 won't pan out. And it's because option 4 represents their comfort zone or old patterns. And all of it is just a lesson. It can go either direction. And the reason that it can do that is because of the fact that you have free will. You can make independent decisions. We say this is a suggested practice, inspired action, take it or leave it. This is what's coming through. Whatever resonates, bring that with you. And if not, leave the rest.
I also love that you call the reading a catalyst because I know you've had this experience as well. Sometimes you get read and you have an immediate aversion to what the person reading you is saying. And it's not because they're not good at their job, it's because you are meant to hear that to get clarity on the direction that you want to go.
You could decide, I want to do nothing, or I'm going to wait, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that, or I'm going to experiment. I'm going to try a couple things out, see what I like. You started making this adjustment at work. Great. How are conditions? How is that working? Does that still feel aligned? You said you wanted this. Have you decided now that you're there that you don't want it anymore? You can get psychic readings on somewhat of a regular cadence and just view it as a check-in on whatever topic, area of life. As long as you have the knowledge that whatever you are hearing, you have to decide within your own judgment what steps to take. Because it's your life lessons to learn, not ours. We're just providing a map. You can decide where you want to drive. Next one related is intuition. From the Latin intuitionem, meaning looking at or consideration. When we're breaking down the word, we have the prefix in, which means at or on. The next piece is tuere, to look at or watch over, which is also associated with the term tutor. In essence, looking at or upon or watching over something. The difference between what psychic means and what intuition means. You could almost take the intuition as either it's from others that are watching over you, or that you are becoming some sort of a guide for others and you are looking out for them or watching out for them. It's the thing inside you, your gut, looking out for your best interest. That's why you have a gut feeling to do this or to not do that.
This is so cool because when I think of psychic and the definition like of the soul, spirit, or mind, it feels very upper chakras, where intuition feels like it's in my lower chakras, like intuition's in my gut or my spleen. It takes a decision and it considers it, but psychic is like that claircognizance, that just knowing.
Maybe to your point, I know I use the descriptor of being a psychic intuitive because I've always framed them as separate, where if you're psychic, it's something that you're learning, it's a skill set. Whereas intuition, everyone having an intuition, it's a matter of you listening to it, and ways that you can improve or get more insight is by leaning into the psychic. You have the things that you're receiving top down, like the psychic piece. It's the divine insights, it's messages from spirit, etc. And that is being fused with the grounding energy, gut, trust, security, etc. And you learn from it. So the fact that there's the connection with tutor is somebody that you are learning from. It's a teacher. So your intuition is teaching you something at the same time.
That is fascinating. And if you think about the times where you didn't listen to your intuition, you definitely learned a lesson.
That's right. As a perfect transition into our next segment, I looked up dream because in season 2, we have had a dream segment each episode. This one had a very interesting history. In the mid 13th century, dream was defined as delusion or joy. And this was multicultural all over the world. And then over time, it started to change into having an association with sleep. So it wasn't always that way. A dream was like you're living the dream. It was a sense of joy and inspiration. 14th century, the definition shifted to incorporate this idea of sleep and that you dream when you are sleeping. One of the roots that I saw etymologically for this word was dremen, D-R-E-M-E-N, which means to be partially and confusedly aware of images and thoughts during sleep. If you were to describe to someone without knowing any history, what's a dream when you were asleep? It's something that your brain is making up or it's processing. It's potentially a fictional scenario, which aligns with it being a delusion. And not all dreams are a joy and are happy. Some are neutral, some have fears or anxiety in them. Having some sort of an awareness of a delusion while you are sleeping.
I think that makes sense. And I think what's fascinating is you and I have a segment this season trying to make sense of these thoughts and images that we have during sleep that we are partially and confusedly aware of. Like it
Yeah.
just encapsulates everything. My other question I would love to know, and I guess you kind of had to be there, was what happened in the mid 13th century that they started to use this word dream for? Specifically, what happens when you sleep? Were they always living with their dreams or suddenly decided to separate it? That's just the nerd in me.
I would be curious if there is a connection with the premonition piece. Dreams are just a delusion. There's some sort of fragmented reality and they're not real. However, we know and we have demonstrated in season 2 of this podcast that you can have premonition dreams. You can have visitation dreams that are giving you information. So that's not a delusion. You are just tapping into your psychic clairs while you're unconscious. You can do it while you're awake and you can do it while you're asleep. And it's more of the mysterious phenomenon. Christina and I will have discussions. Has your sleep been really disrupted the last few days? Have you had trouble remembering your dreams? Have you been waking up feeling especially tired? And pretty much without fail, the other person will have been feeling the exact same way. That tells us that there's something energetically, psychically that's happening, and we're not trying to remember or not remember our dreams or have somebody visit us or not. We're just going to bed, and whatever is happening when we are unconscious as intuitive people is tapping into something. Hopefully, scientists keep researching it to figure out why that is. So now that we know what dreams mean, why don't we talk about what our recent dreams meant to us?
I love that idea. My dream for this episode was very short, but I thought it was so cute. I was in a field of dandelions, like, you know, those flowers that you blow on before they become flowers and you make a wish. What I was hearing in my dream was that I had an abundance of wishes, which is so cool. Aside from that, to see dandelions in your dreams can represent pleasant and joyous surrounding. Blowing on dandelions symbolizes fleeting moments. So you could be trying to recapture a certain time in your life, or you feel that time is passing you by. I see Renee's notes about her dream, and I cannot wait to hear it.
You're like, what the heck is the plot of this dream?
What is the plot?
I woke up in a bridal suite with one of my friends, and we realized that we overslept. Some guy came in who was a friend or somebody that she knew, and it was specifically stated that he was gay. He was coming in and alerting us because of the fact that we were running late. And then he leaves. And then my friend says, oh, the two of you would be cute together. Like there's something about how he knew and understood me, even though we had just met. I responded by saying, well, I didn't even really get to look at him to comment on whether he was attractive or not because I didn't have my glasses on. So I couldn't see. We go into the closet and we had 2 different dresses that I had picked out to wear for my wedding, which were 2 pink cocktail dresses. And she looked at the 2 of them and she went, oh, I like this one more. We picked it. I took it with me. And then I went to the makeup suite. The makeup team was going to do my hair and makeup. And I realized I forgot to bring my contacts with me. And I was like, oh, I'll just text her and then she can bring it later. This is my dream. Very odd sequence. I am not engaged. I am not in a relationship. Wasn't planning on wearing a pink cocktail dress to a wedding if I were to get married. If you are single and you dream that you are getting married, it can suggest a desire for marriage, connecting to divine feminine traits, making something permanent, or having a new beginning. Having blurred vision. I didn't have my glasses on. I didn't have my contacts in. So I wasn't seeing everything as clearly as I should have been the entire time. Blurred vision can symbolize perception and awareness being out of focus, or confusion or uncertainty about your path forward. Next was being in a couple. Whatever is happening with the couple, their dynamic is reflecting your level of contentment or emotional, psychological connection. The two couples that were discussed were somebody who I would never be with. And then separately, I am marrying someone I didn't know. And this wasn't even on top of mind in my dream. Nowhere in my dream was I thinking, who am I marrying? Who is this person? Where are they? I knew nothing about them and I didn't even think about it. It wasn't until I woke up I went, who am I marrying in this dream? The color pink, because obviously that was very important to the dress I was wearing. Pink symbolizes safety and prosperity on the high vibrational side, or on the low vibrational side, obsession or insecurity. Finally, forgetting my contacts or forgetting my glasses. If you are forgetful, it is symbolizing neglecting something. And in this case, what I was neglecting had to do with clarity and vision. So my interpretation of this dream is that I'm being nudged to connect with union or connection, relationships, or the feminine energy, but that I'm lacking clarity around the timing of relationships. When could I actually get into one? What's the quality of the relationships? What might the outcome be? I've kind of had some thoughts recently. Oh, I'm doing online dating. I'm not really connecting with anyone. I'm busy doing other things. But in the background, I'm like, I would want that, but I don't really understand it. So I am lacking clarity in this space. The pink dress is the abundance and security piece. However, I don't know who the person is that I'm supposed to be marrying or be in a relationship with. And there's a suggestion of there being some sort of incompatibility, maybe even misalignment with the pool of the choices that are out there in front of me. In the apps recently, I'm like, okay, why do I keep having all these people like me where we clearly aren't compatible because of XYZ thing on their profile? So I've been feeling that way in my conscious mind. Final message, even though I don't have my contacts / clarity now, I can and will get it later. It wasn't a source of stress. I knew I would get the clarity for my path ahead.
I love the way you've analyzed it. I'm like very curious for the clarity that's to come, but I love that you're trusting it.
Every juncture in this dream, I'm waking up late. I wasn't stressed. I was deciding last second what I was wearing day of, not stressed. I forgot my contacts, not stressed, because everything was going to work out later, which is nice.
Very nice. I love this delusion for you. No, I'm just kidding.
It's a delusion. It is delusional because I would never behave as I did in that dream.
On your wedding day, if you didn't have your contacts, picking out your outfit the day of your wedding, who is she? On to the reading portion of this episode. This happens sometimes when I'm reading myself, not often when I'm reading others, but as soon as I got into my psychic space, before I could even set my intention, the visions were coming in. And I was like, hold on a second. And Spirit was like, no, we got to get started. You know that black and white sort of hypnotist spiral that goes around and around? I was hearing the theme music from the original Twilight Zone, the black and white version, and I heard you are now in the Twilight Zone. And I was getting the feeling that reality is going to feel off right now. I'm thinking of like the themes of the episodes where this person, they find themselves in a new reality. They're the only one who seems to remember a past reality or a different way of doing things, and they have to adjust. So at the beginning, it's going to feel like reality is really off. And then we're going to adjust. We're going to acclimate to what this new reality is, and we're going to learn important lessons during this time and evolve. I was hearing check the astrology. And on September 6th, 1 week before this half of the Etymology episode airs, Uranus will have begun its retrograde back through Gemini and Taurus. Uranus is the planet of sudden change, uniqueness, freedom, new ideas. I always think of Uranus as like that idea pops into my head out of nowhere. The energy during this time may bring unexpected outcomes and wake-up calls. Really good time to confront issues you'd rather ignore to help you better align with your reality or your current reality. So if you feel like you're questioning old beliefs or you want to explore new ideas, you're actually right on target, even though it feels out of sync, or why is this happening now? Or why is everything changing so suddenly? So for the listener, Uranus is going to be retrograde for the next 5 months, so until February 3rd of 2026. And the last time Uranus was retrograde in Gemini was during the 1940s. think about what those themes are and have I learned the lessons I'm supposed to learn, and how am I going to move forward in my new reality. The mantra that I pulled for this reading is I surrender. And it feels very much like eclipse season. Yes, eclipse season is occurring, so let's just surrender to the changes that the universe is giving to us. Let's question things. Let's question our own beliefs. Let's explore new things and see what our new reality has for us in 2026.
I'm so excited to tell you about my reading
Tell me,
because
tell me.
I had the same thing as you where I went to drop in and I got different instructions. The reading that I'm providing today, I have never done on this show before. I do it for myself sometimes, but it came in very clearly that I needed to pull a card spread for the mind, body, spirit, because for whatever reason at this time, we need a release and we need a chakra balancing, nervous system reset. It is no coincidence that everything that you just set up for your reading is like, oh, things are going on and changing right now, and our sense of reality and like what's happening. My reading was picking up on the same exact energy because I was getting told, do something that is practical that will allow people to reset and recalibrate because there's a lot of chaos happening.
I just got goosebumps.
The card deck that I used for this spread is the Moonology Manifestation Oracle deck, which has astrological themes, because of course it does when Christine just did her reading on astrology. And I had picked this deck out before we started recording. For the Mind card, first quarter moon in Scorpio, release your blocks. With the first quarter, we are reflecting on, for our mind, where do we have mental blocks? What needs to be cleared out? And for Scorpio, we also are being asked to go deeper to connect to truth and be honest with ourselves. Plus the emotional piece, because our emotions and our mind can be connected. And the quote that came through was, the mind can play tricks when our emotions are out of alignment. So we're weaving the two of these together. Our emotional state, how we are feeling about whatever is happening, is intersecting with the mind in some capacity. And so our encouragement for our mind in this point in time is to evaluate where we have mental blocks, where we have any sort of self-limiting beliefs, and how do we release those. For the body, last quarter moon in Virgo, attend to the details. Naturally, pulling Virgo for a body card couldn't be any better as an earth sign that has a reputation for focusing on health. Are we meeting our basic needs? Is our shoulder hurting? Do we have a tension headache? Paying attention to those little details where we're slightly out of whack because our body is telling us something. Our body is carrying the wisdom. Attending to the details as intending to your body, taking care of your body. If it seems small, it might not be. When you start tending to your body and paying attention to all those little nuances, taking those insights because they can be applied elsewhere. That's how that came through. And finally, the spirit or soul. We had new moon in Capricorn, step up and lead. We are being asked to do more with our spiritual development. This is a take charge energy when it comes to your spirit. Capricorn is known to be ambitious, and we could be dismissing what's coming through. Grab a hold of it, do something with it. We're lending a sense of focus to what's happening with our intuition and with our soul and its nourishment. New moons are all about beginnings. It's a cardinal sign, Capricorn. We're becoming the expert. We're becoming the authority figure of our own wisdom, and we are not backing down from it. This was capped off with a nice mantra that corresponded to each of the components. I unleash my mind, tend to my body, and command my spirit.
I love this.
There is something going on when this airs.
Yeah.
Because the fact that we were both guided instantly to do very different readings than we normally provide, and of course the intersection between the two of them, they were picking up on feelings of unrest or instability or change and having to reevaluate when you have a planet in retrograde. And I know there's going to be multiple planets in retrograde at this point. We're doing a lot of reevaluations. As you're navigating the storm in the collective, here are some practices of things that you can focus on to stabilize yourself.
It just feels like we're coming in for a landing. For me, it looks like there's like different possibilities showing up. Like we haven't landed on just one possibility. When this episode drops, we're making like a rough landing into one of those possibilities and we're trying to adjust.
Going to be interesting when this comes out. We're going to be just as surprised as all of you. I think it's pretty unmistakable. This is going to resonate somewhere, because for us to go in a complete vacuum and come back with something that is very congruent, is that the right word? If you say something is incongruent, it's not working. So congruent is connected.
I need a dictionary.
Just a word that popped in and I went, is that the right word? I don't know why I want to say that. So I could just be being prompted with this vocab. But it says something to me whenever we go into our little reading bubbles and then come back to record that we have something so strongly that we both picked up on.
As always, let us know in the comments what you think or how you feel or if any of this resonated. Thanks for listening. If you'd like to learn more, the resources we used to prepare for this episode are listed in the show notes.
If you're curious to develop your intuition, we've partnered with the Nuurvana Be Light program to give our listeners a $500 discount on tuition fees. Email us for more details and we'll connect you with the founder, Deganit Noor.
Want to connect with us? You can reach me, Christine, at Channeled by Christine with one L on Instagram.
And you can reach me, Renee, at _read by Renee, or connect with us both via email at synergytosynastry@gmail.com.
Keep your spirit curious and your aura sparkling.
We'll see you when the stars next align. I just realized we both have a top bun.
I'm on mute. Love a top bun.
I couldn't hear you, but I saw what you said.
I spoke
I
with
love
my
a top bun. Now my hair is really dirty and I have to shower, so normally I pull it back and I'm like, I gotta do enough about my top bun.
Okay, let's get into it.
And more about words.
More about words. I'll just repeat everything you say.